Alrighty, so I just wanted to get this one more time. I'm actually really excited about this. I've had this vibration problem for a long time, and I'm going to try and hold it up to the camera so you can hear it. So yeah, you can hear that, and when you move it, it moves like a ratchet. It like goes easy and then stops. So if it vibrates here when it's on the car, it's just going to be a rattling mess, and apparently that's what's been my problem the whole time. I've been waiting for it to get bad enough to diagnose this, and I actually did crawl underneath the car, I don't know, the other week, and I went and I checked these, and I couldn't find any play in them. And usually, this is kind of unusual, usually when they're bad, I don't understand why they've lasted this long, but there should be a lot of play in here. It should be really, really obvious. But the main thing that clued me in was the banging clunk sound. I had recently replaced my stabilizer arms. There was a little bit of clunking going on there, and shortly after that, my wife said it was clunking around really bad, and it was, and that's right at the end of the transmission where this goes in. Good? Yeah, this one actually isn't too bad. Up right there. Look at that, yeah. But if you're checking for play in the joint, there's none. I can't tell. But when it's off, yeah, I just noticed that now. You can see it's been, I'll be honest, it's been a long time since I've done universal joints. So I'm going to try the method that was taught to me by a redneck in South Carolina with my pickup truck, and it absolutely blew my mind. I was struggling with these U-joints for quite a long time, and basically I gave up and drove to a shop. I can't remember exactly. I think we used one of my buddy's cars, and I had the drive shaft with me, and I asked him if he could help me out, and he's like, give me that. And I'm going to show you exactly what he did, and hopefully it works. And I don't know if it's going to work on this. There's a little bit of room there, but yeah, it kind of looks like it isn't. But I can give it a shot. We'll see how this goes. Alright, that should clear. Alrighty, hopefully this will work. I'll see if I can drive them out, and if it gives me too much of a hard time, I'll get the grinder set up and I'll just cut them out. But it looks like this is going. I already hit it once. Yeah, it's coming right out. Sorry, I know the camera's probably going to have a hard time with the light in here. Alrighty, so this is taking so long, it looks like the other camera's charged up, so at least I can get some footage of this. So I have this guy off, and I cut it off with the cutting wheel, and now I just have to knock these old caps out. That's one. There's all those pins. And learned a very valuable lesson. Don't get the pins mixed up or the U-joint will not go together. The new U-joint has different size rollers. And there you can even get a good look at the pins. They're not really in bad shape. They're not rusted or cruddy or anything, but unfortunately these old U-joints are really, really crunchy, and hopefully this will solve it. So I'm going to grab the other new U-joint, and well, I have the camera on, but I've already cleaned this out, and it feels like I cleaned that one out. I'll have to clean these two out as well. And what I use for that is I'm just using the Dremel with, this is like a rasp. I think it's a tile cutting tool, but it's a very fine blade, and it'll pretty much last you forever. I used to use rotozip bits, but they're too aggressive and they would always break. But this thing I've had for quite a while, and it's a little slower, but it'll get the job done and the bit won't break. I've already had to grind heads of bolts off, and it takes a while, but this will do it. So this is a really good tool, you know, when you're in these situations. But enough about that. I'm going to go grab the other new U-joint and try and get this done. I'm excited to get this done. The Suzuki should run really, really good. So I'll be right back. Alright, I accidentally forgot to put the grease zerk on, so I just did that. And once again, look how nice and smooth this new U-joint works. So I'm going to flip it back over and get the other side done. Be right back. So I learned my lesson last time. The first thing you want to do is make sure these holes are nice and reamed out so you can easily get the cap in. And you want to test that ahead of time. That's not super great. So I'm just going to keep opening it up with the... that might be... Something like that might be okay, but I'm not taking any chances this time around. So I'm just going to open these guys up a little more till the caps fit through nice. This one still has to be done. And after that I can start putting it together. So here we go. So this isn't exactly a machine tool or anything, but it'll be good enough. And since this is pressed in, it's not going to matter if you get take off a little too much material there. Yeah, that fits in nice. That's what we want. It could be a little nicer. Just hit it real quick. Oh yeah, that'll fit real good. Okay. So that's done. Now we just have to ream this out. Get this out of the way and... That'll probably be alright, but... Well, that one's perfect. That's pretty good. Perfect. All right. So if you can get these guys down to to where the snap ring goes. That should be in far enough for you to get it together and hammer it in. Alright, now we need to prep the roller bearings. This is a very important part of doing this. So we're going to take these apart. We're going to wipe off this yellow grease. Try and get as much of it as you can out. And this is one of the advantages of doing stuff like this yourself. You're not going to get this kind of service when you pay somebody else to do it. It's just not going to happen. It takes too much time. Clean this off. Ooh. And just put these back together, even though we're going to take them back apart again, but there we go. That'll get everything nice and prepped. Ooh, look at that. Alrighty. Alrighty, hopefully this should go a lot easier. Shouldn't be so bad. It's been a long time since I've done universals, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It's given me a bit of a hard time, and things are definitely a little different. But I'm going to be so glad when this is done. It'll be interesting to see if I get my 3/10 of a mile to the gallon back, because the Suzuki should definitely run a lot smoother. Wow, that's really awesome. Just slides right in, not going to give me a hard time at all. Alright, that one's in. Nice. Yep, and they're nice and tight, so you know, opening it up shouldn't really cause a problem. So I might as well get these all the way together while I got it here. And I'm just gonna tap that in until I knock it out. So there's enough room to get the snap ring on, and there definitely is. And I've been using the channel locks. These guys have been giving me a really hard time. I got that one by hand. Now we'll just knock this one back and get the snap ring on there. And I don't even have enough room to swing the hammer. Yeah, I'll tell you what, after struggling the first time, it's definitely worth it to make the effort to make them holes a little big so you don't have to struggle so much. That's the other one. Feels good, nice and tight. And now we can put the rest of the axle together. And once again, very, very important to match it up to where it was. There's paint there and paint there, so it'll go on that way. So if you're doing this and one of these roller pins falls out, you're not going to be able to get it together and you're going to have to pull it apart. And all these little pins go in a circular pattern in there. That's why I hit it with that first shot of grease. That packs the bearings in there for you and helps hold them in place so they don't fall over. And this is going together beautifully, which is nice. I deserve a break today. I can't believe I had to resort to cutting these off. The press is back there. You can see it. It's buried. But it would have been nice to use that rather than cut them off and then have to weld the shaft back where I hit it with the wheel. So yeah, we're just about done with this part. Just about got this guy back together. And I'm going to do this right now because I forgot last time. But yeah, definitely. No, I can't do it. I got to get it in there first. And then that's when you think in your mind, oh, I already did that, and you forget. So here we go. Yeah, that's way out there, more than enough room. Oh man, these spring clips are a killer. Gonna have to grab the channel locks, I can tell already. Go. Last one, and then put the grease zerk in. And, knocking my cheap vise right off the table again. Yeah, that overdid it as well. So when I put the grease fitting on and pack these with grease, they'll pop back out against these snap rings. Man. And go on an angle, and they'll usually pop right on for you. Right like that. Wow. Look at that. Nice and smooth. Big difference. I just saw it a second ago. There it is. There we go. Not a nice way to put that on, but should prevent from over tightening it. So I'm gonna fill this up with grease, and which ones have room to go? That one's got room to come up, and that one's got room to go down. So let's see what happens here. Nope, they didn't move at all. So there we go. They're definitely packed full of good grease. And this is something you don't really have to do, but I'm going to try and seat them back in place where they should be. They really shouldn't be in that far. But if not, that's fine right where they are. They'll definitely throw themselves out eventually. Wow, I can't believe how... Yeah, that's amazing. It's a shame I wasn't able to put one of these together with the grease that it comes with. You would see a really big difference. Look at that. Woo. So yeah, this should work a lot better. So I'm going to drag this back out to the car and enter the last round in this battle and hopefully get this done for today. So be right back. Alright, the final round. Just have to get this thing back in here. And I remember when I took it apart, I don't know if they're all going to be like this, but this part of the U-joint was marked, and I remember where that went. That went up towards the top, and it also goes in the back differential, which is good I remembered that, because when I laid it down, I did lay it down backwards. So a lot of Suzukis are plagued with this vibration problem, and if I had to guess why, I would say it's because there's a CV axle here. That's just too many places for stuff to be able to turn. And another thing I really wanted to take a look at was to see if these drive shafts were in phase or out of phase. And it looks like they are offset a little bit. So that probably is correct. So if you didn't know this, yeah, drive shafts need to be set out of phase. Every 90 degrees will rotate. So one shaft needs to be 45, I'm sorry. So one shaft needs to be 45 degrees offset from the other in order to offset the elliptical rotation of the shaft. So it's definitely a really good idea, if you're taking this stuff apart, to mark it so you can get it back together the same way. And yeah, that's enough rambling. I am very anxious to get this done. I really got beat up today with knocking those pins out. I can't believe I actually found them and got them all back in. Everything is completely good to go. I'm very, very happy with these U-joints. Well, this is embarrassing. Thank God they have the center carrier on. Apparently I got it in here backwards. Unfortunately, that mark that I know was on the rear differential is not on the other end of the shaft. So apparently that means I must have got the ends mixed up when I put the universals on, so that's just the way it's going to have to be, because I'm not going to change them around. Oh man, ooh, is that heavy? Yeah, I like to make mistakes so you don't have to. There we go. So make sure that's in place before you attempt to hang it on the center hanger here. Yeah, it's bad. I'm throwing nuts right into the ground. I can't believe I didn't just set myself back 20 minutes. Alright. Now the back one will go in, and the front one's up there. The front one will go in. That's tight. That's tight. And I only have to get the top one that is really hard to get to. If I need the room, I have it right now with the bracket loose on the center bearing there. This has got to line up. And the paint marks line up again. That's good. So if you were ever curious about your Suzuki SX4 all-wheel drive, I can spin this differential here so it remains open until it needs all-wheel drive. That might come in handy when you're working on this, especially on this job, where it'd be nice if I could turn the front shaft, but I can't. But if you ever wondered why you don't get any better mileage putting it in front wheel drive versus all wheel drive, that's the reason. It's still spinning this drive shaft and all this extra stuff, and that takes up a lot of friction. And takes away any gas mileage savings you would have got by just using the front wheel drive. Alrighty, so looks like I got my U-joints replaced. It wouldn't have been quite that bad, but unfortunately I knocked some of them roller pins out of the new U-joints, and it really took up a lot of time to get that squared away. But anyway, I'm super happy that I got this done, and I'm pretty positive this is going to take care of any vibration issues I have. Like I said earlier, somehow I mixed the back and the front, but I did paint the shaft, and I have no idea how I got that mixed up. But anyway, it is really important to put the shaft back where it was, and ideally with all the parts in the same place. So anyway, I'm gonna finish this all up. Thanks a ton for watching, and till next time, I'll catch you guys later.